Hello everyone, this is your friend Abhishek. So the topic for today's discussion is, what do you understand by good life and what are the various obstacles that one encounters in achieving a good life. A good life is a kind of life that an individual may dream of living. Basically, it is a subjective conception. It varies from person to person. For example, for some person, a power or a wealth may be a good life. But while for an ascetic person, it will be meaningless. For an ascetic person, any material possession will be meaningless. I will justify my point by taking an example. For example, if we take Gautam Buddha, who has left all his material possession in search of truth. So, for him, the goal of good life was to search the truth. And if we take an example of an hedonist or some hooligans, so for them, self-pleasure is the goal of good life. And for a compassionate person like Mother Teresa, the goal of good life is to bring humanity or to work for the service of others, to improve the service of mankind. So these are the goals of basic good life for other type of persons. Now I am going to give some of the philosophical view of various social thinkers like Gautam Buddha, Aristotle, Socrates, Kant and many more. For Socrates, an examined life is a good life. I am going to explain what Aristotle has thought of a good life. So, according to Aristotle, a life of virtue is known as a good life, and for performing some of the virtuous conduct, we have to avoid some of the extreme of excesses and some of the extreme of deficiency, and it is also known as the doctrine of golden mean. Now the point of discussion is what Buddhism has thought of a good life. For Buddhism, a good life is that a life of containment and truth which is achieved through a Four Noble Path and Eightfold Path, which is also known as the Ashtangic Marg. For Charvak, a life of pleasure is a good life. So in addition, we can say that it is a life which is full of materialistic view. I am going to talk what Kant has thought of a good life. For Kant, a good life is a life that is bound by some of the categorical imperatives and which is achieved through reason and a free will. For him, doing duty for duty's sake is a best mantra for performing a good life. You all know, we all want to have a good life, and there are some of the obstacles that are associated with it. So I am going to discuss some of the points now. The first point is that what is the meaning of good life? So the meaning of good life is that everyone has a different perspective and it varies from person to person. So each and every person have a different perspective on what constitutes a good life. So when someone start imitating others and blindly accept the conception of good life, so it becomes very hard for them to achieve excellence, honesty, happiness and various moral conduct that is very much necessary to lead a good life. Some of the negative emotions like envy, jealousy, greed, anger and the lack to manage the emotional intelligence, so it leads to a very harsh life and it may deteriorate your good life. The fourth point is that if we lack focus, motivation and commitment even after the failure, so it can reduce our fighting spirit by which we can compete in the future. The fifth obstacle in achieving a good life is that if we are indulging some of the fraudulent activities, if we are indulging in alcoholism, drug abuse, gambling, so these two also deteriorate the quality of good life. The sixth obstacle is that if there is a lack of necessary resources which are leading to poor education, health and malnutrition, so it too hampers the overall development of an individual. According to me, the conclusion is that each and every person in this world has the ability to understand a good life in a very better way, and each and every person has to face a unique type of obstacle in this world. So for achieving a good life, a unique obstacle is needed. And if you like my video useful, so please comment in the comment section. Thank you so much.